Welcome back to the Getting Started with Felt series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to style your map. When you first create a new map in Felt, this will be your default background. Now, if you want to change this, there's a little button up here called Background. Here you can switch between default to satellite, or if you click on the overflow menu, you have a handful of other options to really customize. For example, you have light and dark theme modes. You can actually turn off the labels, or you can create an entirely different base map altogether if you want to add something from, say, map tiler, or maybe you just want a solid color to really make your data layers or your elements stand out. Simply click on this and it'll give you whatever solid color you want. All right, now I'm ready to style some data. And first, I'm going to focus on vector data. I have 3 sample layers over here. I have populated places, rivers, and countries. All of these are from naturalearthdata.com. I'm going to grab populated places, and then over here on the right, I can now see the style editor. And there are 4 main sections, and in the second section in particular, this shows us what data type we're working with here. So this is a point data set. Different data types are going to show you different parameters, which you can customize right here. So for example, if I go grab rivers, you can see that this is a line data set, and the parameters are different. Now if I grab countries, these are polygons, and again, different parameters. I can quickly start to style the populated places here. Let's say I want to bring the size down. I can go make changes to the fill color. I have a bunch of different preset color palettes right here. I can manually type in a hex key if I want. I can bring down the opacity level via this slider, or I can manually type in a value here. And there's also a color picker if I want to sample another color directly on the map. I can jump into stroke, change the width of the stroke and the color as well. There's this cool auto feature which will automatically look at your fill color and then base your stroke off of that, which is great. I'll bring down the opacity real quick. And then down here, there is a master opacity slider. Let's say you spent a lot of time changing all these parameters and you're just not happy with the look and you'd like to start over again from scratch. To do that, click on this overflow menu and then go down to actions and select reset styles to defaults. So far, I've been doing some pretty basic style changes. Now let's say I want to get into a more complex, data-driven style. You can do this up here in the general section. There's a type drop-down menu. Here I have a handful of different options of map types. I'm going to grab size range. Now this will immediately make our points way too big, so I need to come in here and change some of the parameters, the first of which being this size by drop-down menu. This allows us to pick a specific field to drive the size of these points. Now if you don't happen to know off the top of your head what you want to do, you could always click on the View Data button. This will bring up your table and you can search through here and figure out what you want to use. The keyboard shortcut to bring this up is Shift-4. Now I'll go back here and I'm going to type in population, and I'm going to grab Pop Max, select this one, and now that will change the size of my points. It's looking great. Now down in the points section, you'll see I have a size range and I can manually input the minimum and maximum size of these points. And if I want to get even more detailed, I can come up here to steps and go in this drop-down menu. That's going to open up this new view here where I can specify the classification method, of which there are a handful of different types here. Or if you'd like to go full manual, here you can manually put in whatever ranges you want and even specify the number of steps. Okay, I've styled the populated places. Now I want to go down to my countries layer. Now these are polygons, and let's say in this example I want to view these by continent and I want each continent to be a different color. So that's very easy to do. I'm just going to go to the type drop down menu, select categories, and then I will color these categories by the continent field, and then voila, now all of my continents are a different color. I can swap this color palette out to make it what I want. You can see we have the legend reflected over here. It's looking great. If I zoom in here, you can see that this is just kind of sitting on top of a lot of our other assets of our base map. If you go down here, there's a position attribute, and if you click on this, you can actually sandwich this between the elements of your base map. So if I choose below water and roads, check that out. This is a really helpful feature when you're working with polygons. Now, obviously, labels play a big role in digital cartography, and they're super easy to add inside of Felt. Simply click on this plus icon down here, and now voila, we have labels. You can specify the data attribute that you'd like the labels to be pulled from right here. I'm perfectly fine with the name of the country, and then you can customize all of your style options down here, including size, color, the halo, and then all of these parameters as well. When you click directly on an asset on your map, you'll see a little pop-up here that gives you a title as well as showing you the data attributes. You can customize all of this down here under the pop-up section. So if you open up this contents drop-down menu, here you can specify the layout type, which attribute will be used as the title. You can even throw an image in here, and then you can customize all of the data attributes that actually show up in the particular pop-ups. You can add and remove whatever you want, as well as customize the name of the attributes. In the Show drop-down menu, you can specify how these pop-ups interact with your cursor. For example, I really love the look of on hover and click. Super cool. One of the big challenges of digital cartography is the fact that you need to make sure your design looks good at all zoom levels. Now, if we look at these rivers, this is a perfect example of this problem. While right now at this zoom level, the river might look great, if I start to zoom out, it's going to look much too thick. So I could come over here to the size and just adjust this, maybe bring it down to something like 0.1. This is looking pretty good. However, if I start to zoom back in now, they're much too thin. We can fix this problem with something called zoom-based styling. And inside of Felt, it's incredibly easy. Over here, as I hover my cursor over these various parameters, you're going to see over on the right, you have this little icon that becomes visible. This is where you can add zoom styling. And as you can see, you add zoom styling on an individual parameter basis. So we want to add this to our size parameter. As soon as I click on it, we now see this range here, and we see a whole new little panel. This view allows me to very quickly change both the zoom level as well as the corresponding line size at that zoom level. This horizontal line right here is showing us our zoom range, and I can quickly move along the zoom right here if I click and drag this little icon. So we're all the way zoomed out here and all the way zoomed in here, and there's a little number that reflects that zoom range. And this is showing us the two stops where essentially our parameter changes. So I can double click on them to snap the view to these zoom ranges. And as I click on them, it also shows us the size at that particular zoom level. So right here, we have a zoom level of 12 with a size of 4.1. If I double click here, we have a zoom level of 7 with a size of 0.1. So the size of our river is essentially going to interpolate between these two zoom ranges. I can quickly grab these and move them around. So let's say I want this to be all the way zoomed out, and then I want this to be maybe at a zoom level of 11. So right now, if I quickly preview this, you can see we go from this 0.1 to 4.1, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, these rivers don't have a lot of great detail at larger scales or more zoomed in. In fact, these are from natural earth, and they're really designed to be used on smaller scale maps. So let's say for this reason, we want these rivers to actually fade out when we get to a specific zoom level. So we only want them to be visible when we're zoomed out. We can do this via opacity. So I'm going to add zoom styling to opacity, and I'm going to bring it all the way over here, and then we want it to fade out. So we want it to fade out maybe at zoom level 7. So I'm going to come over here to zoom level 7, and here we want it to be 0. So now it will interpolate between these two. So I'll quickly preview these. They're visible, and then they basically go away as we get closer into the base map. Super cool. In addition to these other visual types, you can also create heat maps inside of Felt. And this just really helps you figure out where your data is concentrated geographically. So I've got this meteorite point data set here, and I'll switch the type to heat map. Now you can see I have a couple of different customization options here, including the color palette. I can make adjustments to the size and the intensity, and I have an opacity slider as well. Now let's talk about styling raster data. When you upload a raster layer, it'll show up by default as an image. And if you look at the type drop-down menu in general, you'll see that you can really do whatever you want with rasters inside of Felt. A common use is to represent continuous measurements over an area, such as temperature. In these cases, a color range style can be useful. So I can select whichever color palette I want here, and then I can jump in and once again specify the classification method. But here you can also see this histogram, where I can stretch out this range simply by dragging these sliders around. You can view data categorically and then specify the number of categories shown. Then you can specify how these categories are sorted, whether you want to manually sort them, whether you want them alphabetical or by most common. In this example, I have a digital elevation model that I can use to show hillshade. So I'll switch it to hillshade. Now down here, you can see I can customize both the direction of the light as well as the intensity of the hillshade. And I can even place these below water and roads. Coupled with the color range, this is a great way of showing both absolute and relative elevation. Last but not least, we have raster algebra. This really describes mathematical operations on raster pixels. By applying these operations on your data, you can create new derived datasets within Felt. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see the next episode in the series, be sure to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. We're going to talk about how to use the spatial analysis tools.